Meanwhile, getting back to hear the news of the day, there at the White House, the French President Emmanuel Macron is expected to press President Trump today to exempt the EU from his U.S. steel and aluminum tariffs. Watch.
The trade with France is complicated because we have the European Union. I would rather deal just with France. The Union is very tough for us. They have trade barriers that are unacceptable. Our farmers can't send their product into the European Union easily as they should, and we accept their product, so we have to make a change.
German Chancellor Angela Merkel is expected to do the same when she arrives in Washington on Thursday. So you see, there's quite a push coming from the EU, the Europeans, saying that they will back measures of their own next month if, in fact, these tariffs are imposed. Joining me with reaction, Fox News contributor Herman Cain. Good to see you, Herman.
Thanks, Trish. Happy to be here.
Lots to discuss, but first of all, your reaction to a market that's off 577 right now.
Keep in mind, at least I do, that you've got short-term investors, long-term investors. You've got conservative investors, you've got aggressive investors. And as you pointed out, the market is in a whole new phase than what it used to be. So from my perspective, as long as we see volatility between plus 2%, minus 2%, maybe 2.5%, I don't overreact because I believe that the market is reflecting a lot of the jitters that some investors see in every little thing that happens. All of these dynamics are working together. Sometimes they're working against one another. And probably one of the biggest mistakes that some people make is they overreact to a soundbite and they over-speculate as to where it's going to lead. The market is too complicated to jump to those conclusions. So I'm not nervous about the volatility that we're seeing in this market right now.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, I think that we've seen a lot of volatility as of late, but it's in part because investors don't know how to quite, Herman, digest all this news that's coming out of the White House, and whether it be a tweet, whether it be a news conference. You know, our own Blake Berman was saying, gosh, you know, there's also news today that Mnuchin is going to China, and he's going to be talking to them about, you know, renegotiating some of those trade deals. Normally that would be your lead, and yet today you have 5 other things to talk about as well. So Wall Street isn't used to this.
You're absolutely right. I would remind Wall Street and investors, a tweet is not a regulation. A tweet or soundbite is not legislation, okay? They are trying to over-speculate as to what it means down the road. You can't do that with as many complicated dynamics that we have working. I would take a tweet or a soundbite for what it is. Maybe you do a little bit of speculation, but remember this, Trish. Remember how some people didn't believe that this president could get elected? Well, he did. Remember how some people doubted we were going to get a tax cuts plan passed in 2017? Well, we did. People were all up in arms. We're not going to be able to confirm a Supreme Court justice. Well, we did. All of the tweets and all of the sound bites coming from the White House, the administration, are just that at this point. Give this president and his administration time to come to some resolution. I'm not worried. Look, he's trying to get President Macron to basically settle down on the Iran deal. It's a bad deal. He's going to do the same thing with Angela Merkel. So I think that people have to be careful not to overreact to all of the tweets and all of the sound bites.
Well said. So let me ask you about tariffs on the European front, because, you know, Macron doesn't like the idea of these steel tariffs, aluminum tariffs, and the concern, no one likes the idea of them, of course, especially if you're the one who's going to get hit with them. But there's an opportunity, Herman, for us to really think long-term and intelligently about the trade deals we are in. And so if we're going to forgive you a steel tariff or an aluminum tariff, I would think, then you've got to forgive us certain things too, etc. How do you see this playing out? And do you worry that the Europeans are going to come together and say, okay, United States, if you're going to charge us those tariffs, get ready, we're going to charge you a whole lot more?
Here's how I see it playing out. This president ran on a theme of Make America Great Again. Now, what the heads of these other European countries aren't saying is Macron wants to make France great again. Merkel wants to make Germany great again. They're looking out for their own self-interest. And for so many years, they have been able to get away with some things until now when this president challenges them. I happen to believe that when the rubber hits the road, they're going to come to some agreement that's going to create a better level playing field. That's how I see it playing out. I don't think it's going to be a trade war. I don't think it's going to be the skies falling. No, the president is trying to get people to the table like he has gotten China to the table. That's what this negotiation is all about.
Yeah, well, negotiation's a negotiation. Herman,
yes.
It's good to see you. Come back soon, okay?
Happy to be here. Thanks.
Thank you.